Afraid Apple cord ranks high on my list of first world problems, right up there with stepping on a Lego or living in a city without a Shake Shack. I've had some sort of portable Apple product since I got my first iPod in 2005. The flimsy connectors that come with each device have been thorns in my side ever since. It's been the same story for more than a decade. For months, I charged my device with no problem. But eventually, a bump pops up where connector meets cord. Soon, there's a slit in that light gray casing that exposes the guts of the cable. Then, I have to choose whether to wrap electrical tape around the injured cable or buy a new one from another manufacturer. Other folks feel the same way. Apple cables have ranked among the lowest rated products in Apple's own online store for years. And just take a peek at some of the 3,407, and counting, comments about frayed Apple cables in Reddit's mildly infuriating channel, and users rightfully called out people like me who tend to be a little bit harder on cords than the average user. Short answer: I don't know. I need help. With user reviews at a steady 1-star on Apple's own online store for the 1-meter lightning cable, we have to assume that the company is well aware of the product's terrible reputation. Apple didn't respond to our request for comment, however. And, yes, we're already into the realm of wireless charging. All 3 new iPhones, the iPhone 8, 8 Plus and X, offer inductive charging for the first time, cementing a move toward the Qi wireless standard that Android phones had started years earlier. But hundreds of millions of us don't have those new iPhones. And, spoiler alert, those charging pads still need to be wired to the wall outlets. So, no, charging cables aren't going away anytime soon. That's why we decided to test a couple of popular alternatives alongside an Apple Comes With Purchase cable to see which held up the best. Here are the contenders. All of the cables were about 3 feet or 1 meter long, with standard rectangular USB-A on one side and a lightning connector on the other. We picked the Amazon Basics and Anchor cables based on positive user reviews and recommendations. Note that they're available in longer versions, as well as in micro USB and USB-C flavors for non-iPhones. I wasn't interested in how fast the cords charged my devices. I wanted to see how well they held up to abuse. So I treated the cables badly over the course of 3 days. I twisted the cables repeatedly where connector meets cable. It whirled them around my finger. I rolled over them with my office chair. I held on to the USB ends and swung them around in the air like a lasso. Oh, and I used them to charge my devices. The Amazon Basics nylon braided USB to Lightning cable held up the best to my wrangling. I attribute a lot of that to the nylon covering, which kept its woven design fairly tight around the cord on the inside. There was also an extra bit of reinforcement between the cord and the connectors that kept it intact. And, they're Apple certified. The only knock against the Amazon Basics was that the reinforcement warped after my office chair wheel rolled over it. That's where a lot of my cables seem to get caught. The Anchor Powerline Plus Lightning cable started to show somewhere on its red nylon after 3 days of abuse. Specifically, some of the white cord beneath the nylon exterior began to show. The Anchor did, however, hold its own against an office chair wheel. Though you're going to have to make an additional purchase, the Amazon Basics and Anchor cables make better alternatives than the default cord that comes with your iPhone. Because after just 1 day of tests, I spotted that telltale bump on the Apple Lightning cable. iPhone 10. Our biggest questions about the phone we don't have. We still don't know a lot about Apple's forthcoming ultimate iPhone. Pixel 2 versus iPhone 8 Plus, which camera is better? We put both phones to the test on portraits, landscape selfies and low light shots.